Summit Motorsports Park, a legendary track known for its family atmosphere, its emphasis on entertainment, and pro-modified battles. Just past the season's halfway point, this is where the competition gets fierce. Within the NHRA is a class of car that defies convention. Door slammers with nitrous, turbos, blowers. These are the Mavericks. This is Pro Mod. The Summit Racing NHRA Nationals is annually one of the toughest Pro Mod events on the NHRA Tour, and the competition is brutal.
Car counts are absolutely crazy here, and the quality of the cars are crazy, so it's been really, really exciting. It's great for the class, but it makes it really, really tough for the competitors.
Let's try not to pay attention to that, and we just got to go round by round here.
And one of the great equalizers at this summertime event is the weather. Blazing heat that makes the racetrack as unpredictable as any on the circuit. The drivers always have to beware.
Right now the track's so greasy, and anybody to qualify can win right now.
And in the near lane, Don Walsh is one of the killers who did not qualify for this field. Another 5-second bump spot, and the crews check the racetrack as we go into the first round of eliminations to make sure that they have a combination that will work in these wild conditions. Backing up to the starting line, one of two Mike Ivey-owned Agave Underground Tequila-sponsored supercharged Chevy Camaros. It's Californian Danny Rowe against that man, the legendary Frank Ace Manzo, the winningest driver in NHRA professional category history, and his driver Khaled Al-Balushi with the AAP Chevy Camaro. Both these machines using supercharged engines with methanol fuel. A great drag race to kick off eliminations. And the win goes to the past NHRA Pro Mod World Champion, Al-Balushi, the driver from Dubai, with a run quicker than his qualifying effort.
I think it's a good way to start, 590. With the speed what we run, I think we are happy, and I think we got a car to go for the next round.
It's important because there is such a diversity of machines in this field, including Robert Patrick's Purvis Ford Lincoln Mercury nitrous Ford Mustang against the Al Capone motif supercharged Ford Mustang of Mike Knowles. Over 900 cubic inches under the hood of the red Mustang, and Patrick is out to a huge advantage. Knowles has shut it down, and the nitrous Mustang runs deep into the 5-second zone to take a victory.
I really appreciate the RPM Association for letting me in this race. I've won here 3 times in Pro Stock. Glidden, Ricky Smith, and me, the only 3 to win it in Pro Stock when it was NHRA, and to come back here and run, it's like a dream. This is the biggest race of the year for me, so I came in here to get the job done. That's what I'm going to do.
So says the Virginia veteran. Backing up to the starting line, it's the JB Power Center twin turbocharged Ford Mustang of Kevin Fiskus and his partner Josh Klugert.
It seems like the turbo cars, usually they say in heat we do a little better, but that track is tricky right now.
And one of the fastest of the turbo cars will take on this man, Chicagoan Dan Stevenson and his nitrous Camaro.
We were up till about 3 o'clock in the morning working on this, and he was up till about 5:30. So I figure I got a couple more hours sleep. We'll just go get him.
The track temperature has dropped down to 102 degrees right now. That's 20 degrees below its worst during qualifying. If the drivers can negotiate what should be a slightly tackier racetrack, this could be a great battle between a Chevy nitrous oxide injected racer and a twin turbocharged Ford. The Camaro's out to 2 car lengths advantage, but it's going to be close right at the finish line. Stevenson barely pulls it out with a whole shot and a fantastic reaction time. Watch the replay on this one. 8 thousandths of a second difference at the finish line.
Kind of had me rattle a little bit. When the switch panel falls down.
Are you kidding me?
No. It fell down in the burnout, and then halfway down track it fell down again.
Your 015 light led to your 96 beating his 93.
Beautiful, beautiful. The switch panel fell down, and it kind of had me rattled up there, but I went up there to take them, and that was the plan from the beginning.
As if a driver doesn't have enough to do. You're on board with the tire heating burnout of a twin turbocharged Chevy Corvette driven by one of the most popular drivers at this racetrack. It's professional rookie sensation Troy Coughlin Jr. racing in front of his home state crowd at the wheel of the Jegs turbocharged Corvette. His opponent will be the 1968 Yenko Chevy Chevelle of Jim Whiteley, the Coloradan, sponsored by J&A Services. Inching into the stage beams. The supercharged car is the last one in, and they're ready. Another door-to-door battle. But the Turbo Corvette gets the win with a huge hole shot. Whiteley's 586 is the quickest run of the round, but it's a loser.
Your 90 beats his 86 because of a stout 024 reaction time.
You know, it's what practice makes perfect, and just a lot of laps down the beautiful drag strip definitely ends up paying off.
We're only halfway through the first round of eliminations. Stay with us for more. This exclusive coverage of the J&A Service Pro Modified Drag Racing Series is brought to you by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology. By Precision Turbo and Engine, the winning edge in boosted performance. And by Aeromotive, serious fuel systems for pro mods to hot rods and everything in between. We're in the middle of round number 1 of eliminations here at the Summit Racing NHRA Nationals in Norwalk, Ohio, and 2 of the record 6 nitrous oxide injected qualifiers are going to pair off. Billy Glidden's Mickey Thompson Tires and Wheels Ford Mustang takes on Bob Ram's Corvette.
We were fighting a bug in the back of the car. You know, I think this intersection was giving us some fits over in Bristol that the last couple rounds we couldn't get enough clutch on it, and it followed us here, and then they backed up on the computer, and you know, it all came together.
We're just trying to find our way here. We're struggling getting through low gear.
2 of the best performers of the 2015 season are on the line in this Ford versus Chevy battle. Both cars over 900 cubic inches of nitrous oxide injected V8 power. The motor goes away for Glidden, and Ram wins with the quickest elapsed time of the entire drag race. Wow, what a pass. But look at the damage being done to Billy Glidden's Sonny Leonard power plant. A huge manifold explosion at the finish line, even though he was right there with Ram. Looking at it from a head-on angle, watch this thing come apart. Kaboom, it cost him the round. There you see the damage incurred not only to the air scoop, but to the electronic fuel injection.
The thing did go 582. Nice stout tune-up in the car as well.
Wow, man. So Brandon Schweitzer, Chris Bell, Rear Morrison, Jerry Bickle, Jennifer, Kristen, Debbie, you know, Scott, Jimmy, everybody.
Got the dog, know the dog's name?
We call him the boy.
Our top-end correspondent, Brian Loans, gets every bit of information out of these drivers. Here's Pete Farber in his CRC Brake Clean Supercharged Dodge Daytona taking on the brand-new Corvette of New Yorker Mike Castellano, the Smithfield-sponsored nitrous oxide injected entry.
I know we're going to step it up. I'm not sure what he's doing over there.
I'm ready because I got my frog back. Last year I had a little green frog on the front of the car. We had some good luck running last year, won Bristol and whatnot. He was missing after the crash in St. Louis, but I found him in my pickup truck. He's back on the front of the car, so we're good.
With the exception of Bob Ram's 5.82-second run, we've seen tremendous equality among all 3 different types of racers in this round. And this is another great drag race. Mike Castellano wins it on another hole shot. It seems like driving ability is more important than horsepower in this round. The margin of victory at the quarter-mile finish line, a mere 0.06 of a second.
For the 3rd time this round, we're talking about a whole shot win. Your 027 light led to your 592 beating his 591.
Okay, yeah, you know, my crew does a great job getting the car ready, and once in a while I got to do my job, so it paid off, and hopefully we'll do the same next round.
You're on board with another driver competing in front of what he considers his hometown fans. This is upstate New York legend Mike Janis at the wheel of his supercharged Chevy Camaro. He'll be up alongside one of the turbo threats, backing up in the left lane as the driver sees it, the BAC 68 Pontiac Firebird called the Turbo Pig. Again, 2 completely different forms of induction racing on what appears to be a very equal racetrack. Whoa, over towards the wall. Saddlefield has to lift off the throttle, and Janis advances with a great run.
It felt like a really nice, clean run, you know, just happy to, you know, went back to our Goodyear tires, and they turned the car around again this weekend, so can't thank everybody at Goodyear and all my crew for making it happen.
And now one of the most anticipated drag races of not only this event, but maybe the entire season. It's Troy Coughlin Sr., the 2012 world champion, against the 2-time and defending title holder, Ricky Smith.
You know he likes to mess with the turbo cars.
No, I love him. He is a good dude, and you know, it's like I've told him, we go test these things and we run them pretty hard. So if he's longer than 8 seconds, he gets timed out. If he's not, it's going to be a race.
You never know what I'm going to do.
That's for sure, but there are huge points implications in this first round matchup here at Norwalk. Two Jerry Bickle race cars, completely different in their approach to pro modified racing. A Pro-Line twin turbocharged engine in the yellow car. A nitrous oxide injected Pat Busey 903 cubic inch behemoth in the red Camaro on the left of your screen. Who will advance to round number 2? Unbelievable upset, and look at the numbers. Coughlin wins it on a hole shot. Of a season-high 6 nitrous oxide injected qualifiers, 4 of them are left. And then there's 2 supercharged cars and the 2 turbo entries of the Coughlin family. Stay with us. Welcome back to the NHRA J&A Service Pro Modified Drag Racing Series. Here at Summit Motorsports Park in Norwalk, Ohio, a track which has a lot of history. A question remains. Is this the original 1940 Willys AmeriCar campaign by Mike Janis's father, Jim?
Kind of a funny story. A guy came out to me yesterday and said, I think I got Dad's old Willys from the 60s. And he brought it over, and there's a lot of, probably 99.9 that it's Dad's old car that I remember. I was only 8 at the time, but you know, all the families here, Mom's here, just to have the car here, and pretty sentimental for us.
Indeed. We move now to round number 2 of eliminations here at Norwalk with the Jerry House Race Cars Camaro of Dan Stevenson out of Chicago. And it will be an all-nitrous injected matchup as Mike Castellana's New York Corvette tuned by Shannon Jenkins stages up.
How do you handle Castellana and the Iceman?
Just go in and race him. Just heads up, race him. Hope you can hold shot him and outrun him.
I mean, he had a good light. You know, it's going to be tough out there. It always is, but we'll just do our best, and hopefully we go to the next round.
Both drivers with over 900 cubic inches of nitrous oxide V8 under the hood, and a red light start for Castellana. He throws away a straight arrow pass. Both drivers clock the same 5.99 second elapsed times, but Stevenson wins.
Nice pass. Chucky's doing a great job. The car's just driving really well, as hot as the racetrack was. Nice pass. Mike's a great driver. I'm proud to be able to whoop his ass.
Robert Patrick's Sonny's Racing Engines nitrous injected Ford Mustang, carrying the family's Purvis Ford and Lincoln dealership sponsorship on the side. And Patrick has won before. He knows he can win here.
Now in this weather, who's better off, nitrous or blown?
If I make a run and don't screw myself, I'm going to take it and load them up. We'll see what happens. I like Mike, and they're a good bunch of guys, but they can't run with this car if I get it straight.
Patrick has put down some amazing numbers in testing, but Janis has been a killer on the NHRA Tour now for going on 5 seasons. Both cars a little bit loose, and Janis drives away to a victory. And the starting line celebration includes just about every member of the Janis family.
It was just a great run. We a little conservative there, so we wanted to make it down the tracks. The first time all year on a Sunday, I think we made it down. So pretty happy about that, whatever happens from here. And had Mom on the starting line. She's here to watch it.
Oh, that's killer.
It's awesome.
Now, a battle of world champions on the line as Jeg Coughlin Sr. looks on. It will be the bright yellow twin turbocharged machine of Jeg's son, Troy Coughlin Sr., against Khaled Al-Balushi and his crew chief, the legendary Frank Ace Manzo, and the silver AAP Chevy Camaro from Dubai. Steve Petty, the crew chief for the Jegs Automotive Team, standing behind the car on the starting line as Coughlin stages first. Now the driver from Dubai takes his time and disappears from sight. Coughlin blasts across the finish line with the quickest and fastest run of the round and a victory. Now, backing up to the starting line is Troy Coughlin Jr., the 3rd generation of Coughlins on the starting line, taking on the amazing Bob Ram in his Grosse Pointe, Michigan silver nitrous oxide injected Corvette.
You make him stage first?
You know, we'll have to see what happens, Ted. You know what I mean? I haven't even thought that far down the line yet.
The nitrous injected rear-end Morrison powered Corvette near lane takes on the Steve Petty Pro Line powered twin turbocharged Corvette on the far side of the racetrack. They're ready. Problems for Coughlin. Now problems for Ram. And Coughlin will drive around in an upset victory with the slowest run of the round. And that means Jake Coughlin Sr. will be watching his son race his grandson in the semis.
You know, it's a pretty hot racetrack right now. Well, the conditions, so it's a little bit tricky out here. But we'll take anything we can get, but looks like we get Pops next round, so should be a good yellow and black showdown.
It'll be a great semis all the way around. Dan Stevenson's nitrous car takes on Janice's supercharged entry, and then the Coughlins battle it out in turbo machines. Stay with us for the semifinals. This exclusive coverage of the NHRA JNA Service Pro Mod Drag Racing Series is brought to you by the School of Automotive Machinists. Education at full speed. By RPM, the Real Pro Mod Association. And by JNA Service, a leader in oil and gas well servicing and exploration. It's time for the semifinal round, and you're on board as the Real Pro Mod Association presents the Summit Racing NHRA Nationals Pro Modified category. And here's Mike Janis doing everything he can to stay in this program and rack up World Championship points. But he'll have to get around Chicago and Dan Stevenson in his nitrous Camaro first.
What's happened with the header?
It broke a header, kind of routine deal on a blower car. You know, every other run you're cracking a header, you know.
So you're just sealing it up?
Yeah, that, and we broke a valve spring, so we just got that fixed. So we're in good shape now.
You're the spoiler. You're just screwing the points all up.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? I mean, you know, come on. It's my turn, isn't it? Don't I get a turn too?
Ted Jones forcing the issue there with Dan Stevenson. The winner goes to the final round. Will it be a nitrous oxide injected 900 cubic inch machine or a supercharged methanol burning 526 cubic inch entry? The supercharged car runs away from its opponent again. Janis goes to the final round, and an important one at that.
Heat of the day, this thing's marching, man.
Oh, another bracket car. We finally got it, I think, but let's see in the final, see what Troy does. And just real happy for the whole team, put it all together, the Jansen Racing engines, and everyone involved, all our fans are here. It's awesome.
Interesting line there by Janis as he said, we'll see what Troy does. Well, we'll see what either Troy does. It's a father versus son Jegs.com battle at their home track.
There will be a Jegs car in the final. Which one?
I wish I could say both, but he's probably the biggest party crasher here.
Age and experience over youth.
We'll just have to wait and see.
Quicker reaction time.
I don't know. He's pretty tough. He's usually wore me out on a practice tree.
Not lately.
Well, one thing's for sure, both drivers are capable of winning, and both are doing well in the point standings this year. They stage together. And problems for Troy Jr. after getting the reaction time advantage. Dad, may have hurt a motor on that winning pass. Oh yeah, lots of smoke in the cockpit. Coughlin is actually heading off the end of the racetrack. Up, he locked up the brakes and stopped it inches from the beginning of the gravel trap. Let's watch this in replay. Far lane, you see tires shake, the car all over the racetrack, and Troy Jr. finally says, I've had enough. Dad, in the meantime, streaks to the finish line, but watch the car. Just after the finish line, the smoke starts pouring out, and one has to wonder if he didn't get liquid on the tires. Well, since there's oil on the racetrack, a really bad situation for Troy Coughlin Sr. We've got time for Pro Mod 101.
Pro Mod 101 is brought to you by Precision Turbo and Engine.
Today we're going to talk about downforce, and we're going to talk about how different cars with different power adders get downforce. Most specifically the exhaust systems. There's a lot of advantages to having your exhaust system focused in a certain direction to get downforce on the car, which allows the cars to have greater traction. This turbocharged vehicle has an exhaust system of about 4.5 inch. If you notice, we've tipped the exhaust so it's pointing upwards, putting downforce on the car. In a turbocharged application, we have to run it through the turbo first. Comes out in a round hole, it has to exit on a round hole. There's actually disadvantages to that, but the advantage of a turbo car is it makes more power to make it up down track. We'll talk more about that later. Our next stop is this blower combination. Check out these zoomies. Zoomies have a nice cool angle, putting a lot of downforce on this car. It gives them more traction. Billy Glidden's car won Englishtown this year. Nitrous fuel injected, one massive pointing up turnout. Another nitrous car. But check this out. Bob Ram, the fastest NHRA nitrous guy in 2015. Look, zoomies, just like a blower car. They all have a little bit to play in how fast these cars get down the racetrack. Horsepower isn't everything. The cool thing about ProMod is parity and trying to figure it out. And downforce is just one other key to the recipe to make it happen.
More great information from Harry Haruska, and now the Real Pro Mod Association final round. Both drivers had problems after the previous round, and Ted Jones got the inside scoop in the pits.
Bottom cap of the mag broke. Kevin just happened to catch it. A good save because it's something you don't look at every run, you know, so we'll be all right. The screws that came out of the bottom of it. So
we'll be
all right.
another one in.
Yeah, we'll be all right.
Well, if you're going to throw a rod, do it after the finish line.
Yes, that's for sure.
All right, now new motor.
Yeah.
Do we know what it'll do?
It's we cycle them all the time.
Oh, so it's just another.
Everything we got's got runs on it, so.
590 motor.
It should be another low 590, high 580, hopefully.
Bear in mind the racetrack is still warm, 114 degrees. This will be a tricky track to negotiate here in the final round. And it's all over. Coughlin has horrible problems. Mike Janis wins the Summit Racing Equipment NHRA Nationals. His son, Mike Jr., the crew chief, is elated, and so's the old man.
In a race that had all the overtones of a home game for you. Your mom was here. So many family members are here. Get this. You go 590 with a 2 again for the win in the final round.
What a deal. I just can't thank my crew and everyone who stuck behind us. Had some bad races this year, but we just pulled it together, and this race means a lot to us.
And the top 3 points earners are separated by only one round of competition. That'll do it from here in Norwalk, Ohio at Summit Motorsports Park. On behalf of myself, Brett Kepner, Ted Jones, and Brian Lones, thanks for being with us. We'll see you next from Indianapolis.